To all the ladies, gentlemen, freaks, fairies, and Jedi, smokers, scholars, and spooky Yuki Satanists, duos, burros, and churros, shooters, looters, and hooters, ramblers, gamblers, and scramblers, orgs, Wookiees, and those weird hippo creatures with the blue titty milk, stoners, loners, and boners,
apples, oranges, and people who don't really understand why we're not supposed to compare fruit.
jerkers, twerkers, and body workers, drummers, slummers, and even the bummers, pirates, painters, and ping pong enthusiasts. To all of you beautiful people out there, it is time once again to welcome you to the Let It Bleed podcast. I'm your host, the whimsical wizard of love, David Amaya.
And sitting across from him is your verified voodoo vaquero, Phil Arroyo.
Thank you all for tuning in, and we are bringing you the best of 2017. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't.
Is it the best? Not
well, I mean, it's pretty awesome.
What was right there?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be honest. We had no idea how difficult it would be or how long it would take to go back and really listen to every single episode that we did and pull from them. So we kind of didn't do that.
I should take better notes.
We just, yeah.
So this will be a lot easier next year.
We're learning.
Whoa.
But what we did is we just listened to a bunch of them and we pulled out some awesome stuff. And I hope that you guys all enjoy some of the hilarious, enlightening, just plain downright interesting stuff that was going on from all of the awesome people that we've had on the show.
Yeah, I'm so proud of the work that we've done, since we started back in March. March 1st was our official day where we're like, look, we're going to put up a fucking podcast for better or worse.
Yeah.
And then I think we fucked up and it went up the week after. But still,
yeah.
Not everything has changed. We've learned a lot as we're doing this. This equipment is better. We're getting better at dealing with everybody and doing these intros on the fly. This is only our third take, so I'm pretty proud of that.
So yeah, you could expect some fucking rad things coming out of 2018 from us and all of our guests. And
we're hitting it with like this new vigor. Like we are so excited. This is like year 2. We've got some more ideas. We really want to promote this thing better. We want to be better, and I promise to not be as lazy when it comes to producing the show. And I really want to really tighten this thing up. I want to, we'll start doing more live streams, clipping things up and sending them out there, more fun stuff. We've got a ton of ideas and we cannot wait for this year.
Yeah, likewise. I promise to not be as lazy, and I think that, I'm off to a good start with that so far. I actually put clothes on today, so we're
I still didn't, and I'm sorry. I insist on bringing you to my room every time to do these.
So, real quick, just if you're listening in, for the people who've been following us for a while, what have you got going on, Phil?
Oh, well, let's see. This upcoming weekend, Regal Collective and I have the 2017 after party. So go listen to this episode, the best of 2017, and then close out 2017 right, because the after party is coming. All right, and I've been producing a video, so I'm gonna post that up, and I'm gonna cross post that to all the social media on the show tomorrow. But you guys go and check that event out. It is this Saturday, January 6th, 2018, in Anaheim. It's going to be dope.
I will be there dancing my ass off as
Goddamn
well. So
right
come
you
join
are.
me and let's have some fucking fun. Also, next Wednesday, or Wednesday the 10th at Copper Door in Santa Ana, I will be live painting during an event, The Big Draw, put on by Molten Lava, our friends Pee-wee, who's been on the show a couple times actually. They're doing something rad out there. So come by, say what's up, check it out, dance, and have a good time.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
And after we're gonna try to keep these interviews shorter. We're gonna try to get to the point quicker. Not mess around as much, because your time is valuable. We love that too. So let's get to it, man.
Yeah.
Let's set up this first clip here. This first clip is one of my personal favorites. It's one that I actually went through and referenced long after, so I could really heed the advice. And that is of our dear friend Jeff Adams of Crude Inc. He's a pretty amazing and magical, spectacular person. And we can't really introduce too much here, but in this clip he goes ahead and teaches us all how to get a little bit of magic ourselves.
Yeah, and then one thing that you have to remember is those that don't believe in magic will never feel its power.
Oh, that is true. Should we play it?
We should play it.
All right, play it.
Yeah, okay, I will teach you guys right now how to do one of my most commonly used magical things, which is make a sigil.
Okay.
Okay.
Sigil magic, it's relatively new in like the realm of magic. Like there aren't any like Kabbalist texts on it. This stuff started in like the 50s. But the way that sigil magic works is our lives are full of symbols that are pregnant with meaning. Everything from like a silhouette of an apple with a bite taken out of it, to the golden arches, to the Windows symbol. These are all sigils. They are things that transmit volumes of information just by you seeing them. Okay? That's magic.
Yeah.
That's magic as shit.
Also, I'm changing my business cards to instead of logos, I'm changing it to sigils.
Yes, please. I will help you with that. I will teach you the magic. There was this wizard who named Austin Osman Spare, who grew up in England, and he was like a surrealist artist, and he sort of like created the idea of creating your own magical sigils. Which is, you don't need to fucking like read through these archaic books that some other dudes wrote to look at their stupid symbols. Make your own symbols.
I like it, yeah.
Like, you're the only person who understands the magic you're trying to do.
Right.
Don't listen to other people's instructions. Fuck the gatekeepers. You're the one in charge.
Yes.
You make your own fucking gates. You tear that goddamn hole through the gate.
Create your own goddamn portal.
Exactly.
This isn't
Yeah.
fucking IKEA. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to fucking make some bullshit cookie cutter, put it together with a fucking Allen branch fucking desk that I'm going to sit at and jerk off to for the rest of my life. No, I'm trying to build a whole goddamn bohemian grove that I will jerk off in with a multitude of people. So, making a sigil. First, you make a statement of intent, okay? Now, a statement of intent or a statement of will is essentially a clarified, distilled version of your want, of how you want the universe to change.
Yeah.
So, okay, I can actually use an example that I used for an ex-girlfriend. I had an ex-girlfriend who was a doctor, and she believed in some level of like spiritualism, but didn't believe in a lot of it. But she wanted to become chief resident at a hospital that she was going to. No, sorry, not chief resident. Yeah, chief resident.
Chief
Sorry.
resident also kind of sounds like it could be like a sorcerer, like
Chief
title.
resident.
Yeah.
Hey, no, that's our resident chief, and that's our chief resident. But so I made a sigil with her, and the way that I did that was, and the way that I propose doing it is, first, put yourself through meditation or achieving a state of gnosis. Put yourself in the mindset of a person who has done this, of a version of yourself that has done this. So, like, let's say you are trying to make your cat win the Olympics, or you are trying to become like the chief of staff at the hospital. There are some people who advocate the statement, "It is my will that this happens."
Yeah.
But I actually prefer to, and have seen better results with, a future tense, like meditative stance. So it is, "I have become chief of staff." Okay? It is a lot more, in my opinion, it's a lot more affirmative, and you are there in the moment. And then you write that sentence out. And, you can do it like in an afternoon, just figuring out, or you could be like me and spend weeks meditating on how you want this to sound, because you've got a monkey's paw fear of doing magic like I do, and you're afraid of it getting away from you.
Okay,
so
so
spend a
write this
lot
down.
of time really thinking about
My
it.
cat is the chief of staff at the hospital.
Perfect.
Got it.
Okay. Now, you look at that sentence as you have it, and then you ditch all the vowels. Just take all the vowels out. Just take all the vowels out.
I like it.
Okay, now take every repeated consonant out. So, cat and chief of staff, that's 2 C's. Drop one of them. Okay? And get it down until you have a string of non-repeated consonants. Now, I
So
don't
is
have...
this a like English lesson right now, or is this like a?
This is for sure magic.
Okay.
This is also how they come up with Greek names.
Also, yes. So, get it down to that string of consonants, and then start fucking with them.
Okay.
Start writing them and rewriting them in whatever weird arrangement that you like. Make an S enormous so that it spans across an entire page, and then make the F into a curvy snake, and then make an H into like the solid pillars that like hold up the entire image. And then scrap that, and then draw it again, and don't try to remember how it looked the last time you draw it. And continue to draw these letters until you don't think they look anything like letters anymore. Until there'll be like a moment when you're looking at this, that it will look right. And there's not a better way for me to put that other than like after you've taken one semester of Spanish in high school and then you hear someone speak Spanish, you're like, holy shit, I got that. You'll have that moment. You will have that moment when drawing out this sigil when you're like, holy shit, that's what it's supposed to look like. And then stop. Okay? Stop right there. Save that. That's the one. That is the sigil.
Control S. Yeah.
And then what you want to do is fire the sigil. And there's a lot of different ways that people can do this. You can either meditate, or you can put yourself into a trance, or you can go into a deprivation tank. That's if you're into more of like an inhibitory sort of meditative way. Or if you're into a more excitatory thing, then you can go up on stage and do stand-up. Or you can dance. Or you can go into your backyard and chant and run in circles. Or you can drop a tab of acid. Or you can do whatever. You can fuck. And one of the ones that's most common is fucking jerk off. Because that is you taking yourself out of your mind.
Dude, I am a fucking magician. Like, bro.
You've been wasting your magical potential this whole time.
Straight up.
Yeah. So after you've figured out the way that you are able to achieve your state of gnosis, okay, that mental vacuity that comes from coming or dancing or being in a deprivation tank, whatever like sort of takes you out of yourself so that you can drop this magic into it, do that thing and devise a ritual that includes that activity. Okay, so if you're trying to make your cat win the become chief of staff, then chief resident. We don't want to fuck up the magic here. Then devise some sort of ritual that you feel would be appropriate for that sort of aim. So you don't need to wear wizard robes. You could put on a white lab coat of a doctor, and you could put on some cat ears, and you can make a ring around you of catnip scented candles. Whatever you think is going to get you into that magical mindset. And then jerk off onto that sigil. And I mean that. Take a piece of paper and jerk off onto that sigil. And then throw it away, because that's gross. But also, because you need to just sort of let it evaporate. You've already planted it in your mind through doing this thing. Like through dropping acid and performing the ritual, or through dancing, or like very literally like spilling your seed and exercising some healthy onanism. You're going to have changed a part of your brain that is going to make shit happen. And it fucking works. It's the craziest, dumbest thing that keeps working all the time. And it works whether you want it to or not. And it works whether or not you've changed your mind about it. And I recommend everyone do it. Because, one, it is a fun and ridiculous way of, spending an evening by yourself. But also, it is a fantastic non-Tony Robbins, non-self-help book sort of way of reaffirming that you have genuine, tangible control over your life. Because no one can take that insane experience away from you. And once you've performed it, there is nothing holding you back from making your cat chief of staff.
That is some powerful stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Very inspiring. And I have to say that I have done a few little spells myself.
As have I.
And they are certainly manifesting. I'm not going to speak on them because that's kind of the point. But
well, if you guys head on down to Fountain Valley Hospital, actually at this moment, you'll notice my girlfriend's cat is now chief of staff. So it works, you guys. It works. I can verify that.
Yeah, and speaking of things, changing and manifesting and bettering ourselves through, positive intentions and everything, this next part is going to be with our buddy Correalism, Serge Correal, who is an artist friend who is also a big advocate for veganism and helped me. Because if you've listened to our show, you've noticed that I complain a lot about my terrible eating habits and whatnot. So it's kind of definitely led the way for me to be where I am. So please enjoy.
That was an A+ segue, my friend. And of course, right after that, we're going to bump it right up against it. We've got the freestyle session that capped off that night. That was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, get ready for it. And go.
As prominent as it should be,
as I would
Well, I'm
expect
gonna
it to
tell
be.
you right now, brother.
But yeah,
You're looking at the motivation right now. I'm a walking testimony.
there you go.
From 1 year now, I was not dancing or even doing art the way I'm doing it. I would not be able to be doing that wall right now a year from now if I was still continuing the same routines that I was intaking. I am here now from 250 pounds to I don't know what, because I don't weigh myself. I go by clothes, old clothes. I'm not going to allow a digital thing to tell me anything.
Wait, you were at 250?
Damn near.
A year ago?
245 a year ago.
Damn, what are
See,
you doing now?
it's weird
I went
because
vegan. I was diabetic. I eradicated my diabetes in 1 month, people. 1 month.
by going raw.
Raw.
Holy shit.
Raw veganism.
Yo, that is
Straight
crazy that you
fruit,
ever
high
at any
carb.
point 245.
Right.
Damn,
Trust
dude.
me. I was drinking. I was doing everything. I ate everything. I ate these. You know what I'm saying? So like, it all adds up to the point where like my cousin will be like, "Oh, you're getting a little chubby," because I was never the chubby one. Like after from a certain age, like late teens, because
Right.
I was still kind of chubby. But as I got slimmed down, cause started working out, dancing, and all this shit. You know, you just get active, mobbing around with your people, whatever. You fucking running, parkouring, motherfuckers.
Parkour.
But you know, you active, so I got slimmer and shit, obviously, and it's what it was. But you know what? I'm telling you, man, like you would have that momentum built on your own head.
You just gotta
You know,
feel the
because
results and see it.
You
a little
know,
bit, yeah.
because you know when you build up as you're already kind of becoming like a semi-righteous man. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's the next step in my evolutionary progress
dude,
on my
I'm
journey. You
telling
know,
you,
that's the
dude,
one area that I
your
need to
life is
fucking.
gonna change.
It's I know it. I know it, man.
All
I
you-
needed to.
No,
That's
no,
the one
no,
area I
it's
fucking
gonna
needed
happen.
to. Yeah,
Trust
totally,
me, it's
absolutely.
gonna happen. Fortunate for me, I've been a Don since day one. I did this shit overnight, bro. But regardless, I did tell myself though, before all this happened, the little panic attack or whatever, it wasn't really a panic attack. It was just like
Hey, we all get them though.
I got my head, no, like lightheaded, bro. Like
Yeah.
like my eyes just went like bright as that eye, as these fucking lights. Boom, came right back. And it wasn't no fucking what do you call it? Can I cuss?
Oh, yeah, you
Dude.
can cuss.
God damn right, I'm saying. Anyways,
Thank you for asking this later.
wait, I'm gonna ask myself. Wait, I'm gonna ask myself one time. Hey, how old are you, nigga? Okay, hold up. Wait till we get in the industry though. Watching we gotta check all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and things like
Just can't
that.
get ahead.
And you can't get ahead. And we're the rest, you know, we're not allowed to get ahead. Only the strong ones are really strong-minded ones are able to go because they got caught up on the propaganda. Like, here I go with the truth, the real truth, veganism, which is like they're eating on top of all these struggles and stuff that's happening. You're eating wrong, which is only gonna add more struggles. So you're gonna have
There's a concept
you
of
know,
like, food
high
deserts and stuff.
cholesterol, diabetes. You got kids now breaking high records of 7, 8, 9 years old with diabetes just because they're fucking Happy Meal. Ain't nobody happy.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
it's stupid.
It's
You know,
stupid.
it's
It really is, and the sad part is that I'm aware of it, and I'm just as guilty.
That's the worst
as
part.
all of those fucking people.
See, I'm not gonna walk around and make somebody feel that way.
I know you
That's
don't.
not my style.
No, you
you know what I'm
don't.
saying? Like, I still respect everyone's doing because eventually, I only just hope for the best for them.
Well, because you're walking the walk, and you're not trying to preach to people in the
Right.
sense like you tell very clearly what you believe in. But like when I was eating with you, I was eating a whole fucking thing of chicken wings and just scarfing them down,
Right. I
like
give
you
a
know the
fuck,
way I
you
do.
know,
Once I get
you-
going, you didn't, you know. Whereas a lot of people do, and in this
I ain't
goes,
bougie
and
like
this,
that,
and this goes,
man.
this goes with anything for any
Yeah.
cause, with any movement of any sort.
Right.
There's always gonna be people that you know, in a sense, it's kind of their
Salud.
own way of keeping up with it themselves. They feel that they need to constantly remind others as well as. I got some right here. Thank you, bro.
No, I want you to.
Oh, salud. Sorry, I was caught up talking, man.
Cinco de Drinko,
There we
homie.
go,
Come
bro.
on, huh? What the fuck? Cinco de Drinko 17.
But yeah, you know, I'm the same way as well, that no matter what, I don't want to ever like, I don't think that it's effective to really go and tell people exactly what to do. Say, hey, you fucked up, you're not doing this right, unless it's something that they really, really need to be say, hey, like, don't do this. You know, your life is in danger, fuck. But for the most part, people aren't going to learn by just saying, hey, man, eating meat's wrong. I'm like, fuck you, bro.
Right.
Like, let me eat my
Right.
goddamn meat, because that's kind of how I am
Right,
at times
of
too.
course.
But when somebody lives by example, and for instance, at the right time, like tonight, you were telling me that, or you were explaining to me the differences in your life. You were giving me your own personal testimony, explaining the energy you have, and it's apparent. It's very apparent, and you could see it in the way that you interact with people. The confidence, there's just the energy within your body, the fluidity of your movement. You know, you are showing me that there's a
walking
whole
Mecca,
part
brother.
that I could achieve that would be a lot greater. Because right now, one of the major things
Dude,
that
I'm
holds me
telling
back,
you.
and I know it, is my stomach. It affects my brain every day.
Yeah, it does.
It really fucks it up. Like, I'm always constantly stressed out and in pain with my stomach.
Why you say that, brother?
You know, all this like super important gut flora like lives in your stomach, man. Like your stomach
Acid.
is way more important than anybody.
And you were doing
You know,
good for
gives
a
it
while
credit
last year
for.
too. You were you.
Yeah, I was
even said-
vegetarian the whole year
Telling
last
you.
year. But then I started getting lazy towards
Yeah.
the end of it.
It's
I
hard,
kinda
man.
forgot that you need to be on top of it. You need to be replacing
Yeah.
everything that you're not getting through a more balanced diet. Like
It's a
that.
duty.
And you got lazy. It was just getting the same shit over and over from Trader Joe's.
Right.
Like that wasn't any good, you know. And
What do you
when
mean?
I started doing that,
Trader Hose? What you mean?
yeah, no, I just like.
What do you
I found-
get from
I
Trader
found the
Joe's?
Vegetarian things I like, different wraps and black beans stuff and soups and bread and stuff. And I was eating all that, but I was eating the same thing over and over again. And then one day, I don't have a scale.
Yeah, it becomes all bland and
Somebody
shit.
brought a scale over, and I stepped on it, and I was down 15 pounds. I weighed 135, and I was like, oh shit, that's not good. I don't have 15 pounds to lose. I'm skinny enough as it is, man. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's make it to the end of the year just so I can do that year and feel good about it. And then I kind of went back in, got a more balanced diet. Definitely not eating nearly as much meat as I used to before. Just totally scaling back.
You're
a
over here
bunch and stuff.
complaining about losing all this weight and shit. I'm over here, man. I can't even. I was trying on.
Come on.
My pants ripped at work today. Sorry to cut you off. My pants ripped, and I had to
Oh,
go
yeah,
to
yeah,
Ross.
yeah, yeah,
I had to
you
go.
did tell me that.
I had to go to
Oh.
Ross to buy a new pair of pants, and then you get in that dressing room. Each time I get in that dressing room and try on pants and shit, I'm just like, fuck, man. I say, all right, Monday. For some reason, I'm always like, I gotta start on Monday. And then Monday comes and is gone. Tuesday comes, is gone. It's like, here I am, a whole nother
Look,
next
brother.
Monday. It's that spiral, you know.
gonna tell you right
But
now,
now, but I'm telling you, I'm making it known right now, because I even said before that I'm glad that we're doing this podcast, because it's going to be something I can listen to hold me accountable.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to tell everybody right now.
In all ways, brother.
Then I'ma get back
in
to my
all
good
ways.
ways, yeah.
In literally
Every
all
week.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motivation for different people, it's a trip, you know.
Yeah,
How
that's-
certain
that-
because people could try to fuck with me. I
what
used
the
to
fuck I
used
do
to
it
give
for.
into the competition thing. I used to have the testosterone where people would
Toma.
just challenge me all the time, and I would have to prove myself.
Toma.
And I the reverse psychology totally, even if I was aware of it, it fucking worked on me.
Yeah.
Now you couldn't fucking all right, whatever, give me that cheeseburger. Stop wasting my time. Don't fuck around with me.
Right,
It's
I
not gonna
feel
work.
you. I
I've heard
know.
it. I love food.
You know, for me, a lot of it is when I say I'm gonna start it on Monday. I'm gonna start it on Monday. All right,
Okay.
next week's a fresh week. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that. Fuck that, man.
Right.
Because if you're gonna keep pushing that line, it's always gonna move. You're not gonna feel how you are in that moment. So if you want to put those cigarettes down or fucking get rid of all this sugar and fucking do that, you know what? Just take it, throw it in the trash, and it starts right now. The minute that you do
No.
it. Because if you keep waiting, you keep
I've
waiting.
had a few moments
That
like
day's
that.
never gonna come, man.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
Maybe it does for some people, kind of. But if you really want to do it, you gotta just do it. You've gotta just take that moment, override everything that's in your gut and your heart that's screaming at you that you need this fucking cheeseburger. Just take that moment of willpower, enforce your own fucking strength over that goddamn cheeseburger, throw it in the trash, and start right then at that moment.
Let me tell you something right now. I have to do it. Because this is what the fuck I do this shit for. To motivate people. I don't give a fuck in any ways. Because most of the ways that I speak upon or do is always mostly for the right. I've always liked staying on the right lane. I don't give a fuck who came and who's came out. You know what I'm saying? Of my life, because I know I always remain a clean slate, no conscience. So any bad talk about me, they're only eating their words, point blank. And I'm very confident because my resume speaks otherwise.
Are there words
Speaks for
vegan?
itself.
Huh?
Are there words vegan?
What? No.
No, but you had.
Yeah, we gotta watch out for that ourselves too.
Okay.
Yeah, we shouting out. We shouting out who it goes to. Fear. K-Dot.
Shout out to Fear.
Damn.
Too many motherfuckers living out there in the fear. But motherfuckers just need to pick up a beer.
Jimmy?
Smoke a joint and let it all go. Because in this world, none of us fucking know not a goddamn thing. Even though we try to pretend we don't got the next day planned. So in the end of the day, all we got to say is let's have a motherfucking good time anyway. Just do it like
That nigga, you floor, bro. That nigga drive through.
Sorry. Yo, I didn't plan it, so don't. Whatever. It's all tongue tied because it's getting dry. I need a little bit of water to bring me down from my high. But that joint's just gonna get me fucked up, and I ain't gonna stop spitting shit like I'm Uncle Fester, like Nestor, the molester.
Oh.
The homie is a jester. Yo.
Ain't no motherfucking molesters around me. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen to thee.
Yes.
Like my grandma used to fucking tell me, whenever you fucking see some weird things, you better fucking get away from the premises. Fuck a motherfucker up if it comes to it. Never sock a motherfucker when he's down. Let him get up and fucking take more hits. You know you gon' fucking land if you a fucking don. Baby boy, you know you picked up a crayon before a pencil. So you know this art shit's meant for you. You fucking know I'm gonna fucking destroy anyone that's gonna fucking come in my way. If you ain't at the top, then get the fuck out my way. This is fucking gold time. This shit is past due. I'm rolling up this fucking, I don't know, Paracinco, maybe some Gorilla Glue on this fucking raw motherfucking Cinco de Mayo.
Right. Yo.
My grandma, I done went through barriers with that lady, man. Pushing grams.
I feel about the grandma too. My grandma was my first best friend. Yo, my grandma, she was my first best friend. Fall asleep watching Oprah while
Beats
I
are
snuck
gonna get
out
amazing,
the
guys.
den.
Just know that.
I got outside, then she come
We got
out
all
with
night,
the belt.
right?
Actually, a fly swatter. And let me tell you how it felt. It felt like shit, but I didn't give a fuck because right afterwards, mac and cheese is what was up. She
That's
made
right.
it for me. Put the weenies in it too, cause she knew what I liked and she knew it how
Jailhouse
I do
caviar.
it. Because Dr. Pepper as a kid was the shit. Every time she made me cry, she made me laugh again. She was my best friend and I motherfucking love her. Genevieve, you the realest. Oh yeah, forever.
What's up, brother?
God damn!
Make sure you follow me on the
God
Instagram.
damn!
No, make sure you follow me. Like, we gotta keep this shit live. We got all this recording, right?
Oh yeah.
We got all night or what?
I ain't stopping, man. We're
Yeah.
fucking roll.
You gotta let me know, cause I can bring some people. You can hear some real stories, bro. Real raw footage from you people.
That's dope.
Wow. That was something else. I totally didn't even remember. I must have just been in the zone on that, and that's something that was really cool that we got to do a lot on the podcast. And a couple times, we've had separate episodes where we got musical with it. And my birthday was one of them with Kevin.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely one you guys should check out. I remember that one blew my mind because I was finding, you guys hear in real time me finding out that you knew how to freestyle. You just fucking dropped that out of nowhere. We didn't plan nothing. We didn't even say that we were going to wrap that episode. It just fucking came together. And I was like, whoa.
It's kind of something that we did while recording music all the time. We mostly just made rap songs instead of making our other songs, but that was fun. We also have a couple different episodes where music is involved, like with Ian and his sister.
Yeah,
she's performing
there's
and
that
doing
one.
stuff, and
the
also
Meltdown.
we introduced some vinyl record action going on where we talked about some of our favorite inspirations and tunes with Badger and David Appleby. Who, speaking of David Appleby, is our next guest.
2 for 2 on the fucking Segway game. I'm sorry to interrupt, man, but I just got excited. You're nailing it tonight.
Appleby is just... I don't even want to get into it because you can go back and listen to the episode and hear me talk about all of the amazing things that this guy is, and his insight and his wisdom and just how he is able to express that to people. It's very compelling, and
He's one of the the most intelligent, compassionate people that we know. He's one of our best friends, and we started the conversation that this leads into talking about his documentary that he was making, talking about millennials and our place in the world, and then we got onto the subject of death.
yeah, and it's nothing to be afraid of, and he'll go ahead and tell you why.
Yeah, it was it's a good change up from that last little bit there. It's
Yeah, there
interesting
we go.
stuff. And then immediately following that, I'm just gonna splice right in a clip of our buddy Ryan Detmer talking a little bit about one of our collective favorite artists, Pumpkin. So, anyways, here we go. My parents, my mom has worked in the ICU for 35 years, and over that time, she's like, the one thing I learned is that people just there's no quality of life, and we're keeping some of these people alive. They're like 90 and we're making it to 96, but they're eating through a tube and they they hate everything. It's like, at what point do you say? And I mean, I think it's a cultural thing that we need to fix, not something that like a doctor would say. But at what point do you just say, no, just go home and be happy and relax and be okay with death?
It's so be okay with death. It's so interesting how petrified we are of death.
Yeah.
It's a part of life. And it's an important part of life. And I think that time in your life is very special.
I agree.
And it's a time when you're not going to get all the answers. You never will. But
not in this experience.
In this experience.
That's there's so many. This is such a crazy theme that I've been going through. But I really want to really quickly want to talk throw out a book based on what you were just talking about, the overdiagnosis. It's called Overdiagnosed by Gilbert Welch. I was just recommended. Somebody recommended this to me the other day to read, and I look forward to reading it. So, but I guess it talks about all of that what you guys were just talking about.
This has been that. I mean, I'm just guessing from the title that I could probably talk about this for another hour and a half.
Making people sick in the pursuit of health.
Yes.
Curing the symptoms but not the disease.
Exactly.
Prolonging the disease, not the and you learn that through whether it's because we all self-diagnose ourselves too on the daily. Like I've been, it starts when you're a kid and your mom gives you ibuprofen to heal your, pain. And I know a lot of people that don't do that, but my mom was just like, don't want to deal with me complaining that my legs hurt or growing pains or whatever. And so here, take 2 ibuprofen. And so here I am not realizing that through my lifespan, all of those times that I'm taking ibuprofen for my headaches, my hangovers, everything, that's fucking up my kidney, which further fucks up everything else. It fucks up my the way I digest food, the way I fucking live my life, the way I it's everything, and it prevents me from having energy to go out and work out and do all the things that I want to do. You just put yourself into this fucking hole, and it's a lot harder to get out.
On each other. Absolutely.
But along with what you were about to start saying about
yeah, I mean, it's actually, I find that it's more special with Western culture to have this preoccupation with death and youth and beauty, right? It's this combination of those 3 things, I think, that we try and avoid ever having to face the topic of death. When someone in your family is reaching that stage of their life, it's so difficult to talk about it. I've found, like I don't want to get into specifics, but like I find that when they reach that point in their life, they do want to talk about it, and they want to have a discussion about it, and they want it to be something that the family can share in the experience, that they can maybe learn something from it, and it can be an opportunity for redemption for certain people, and unfortunately, whenever it gets brought up, it's, oh, come on, you still got 30 years on you,
bro,
like let's not talk about it
all the time. Yeah, people hate it when I bring up the idea of death and talking about how I'm not afraid of it, and it comes off right away. I get it, how it comes off as though I'm self-destructive and contemplating suicide, and that's a very big thing because there are people suffering. There's a lot of people suffering, and I'm not trying to make light of the situation that people are out there and they're hurting, and so they just they don't see a positive side of it. But there are people and even in big cultures that I've always seen death as an honorable thing. There's also for their own way. I'm not saying I agree with that necessarily, but there's also other ways it really is just the cycle of life. It's the beginning to an end or the end to a beginning, whatever, however you want to fucking look at it. And when I was younger, I was told by somebody that they just told me the story of how their grandma was just sick and tired of, like, or their mom said, if I ever get to the point where grandma was, where we're all just, miserable and tired of taking care of her and not wanting to fucking put up with this, I just want you to just, end it.
Yeah.
And I want you to celebrate my death rather than mourn it.
Right.
Celebrate that death, and it always struck me as something that was like, yeah, that's what I want too. I don't want my friends to be sad. I want them to come together and just talk about the good times, Obviously they're going to be sad because you don't want you're somebody that you love to be gone, but you just have to understand that it's a part of life and it's going to happen to every single one of us.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
The pumpkin memorial.
Yeah.
That pumpkin, for those of you who don't know, he was such an influence in our group. He, we bonded for that first time at Lightning in a Bottle
that
for
was
his
such
set.
a special. Like that was probably the first set of that Lightning that really set the tone for. I mean, everything till now.
That was right back before we came and met Hector and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the same day.
He became the soundtrack for our lives that year.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't just our group; it was literally everybody in that world. It was such a
positivity about
Yeah.
him.
He already held such a special place in our heart.
Yeah. And
Well,
then,
there's that video where he says, like, I've already achieved my goal. Like,
What's your dream? What
Like,
do you
life
want?
can't
Yeah.
even keep up with my dreams.
Yeah,
or
I love
something
that.
like that. So.
My dreams can't keep up with
Or
my
my
life.
dreams can't keep up with my life.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a great quote.
He unfortunately was taken from us, way too soon.
Yeah.
But to celebrate his life, we had a party in a warehouse downtown. We had his DJ computer set up. No one was behind it, but we were playing his tunes, and like I saw this beautiful moment where this young father was there with his child, and the kid must have been like 6 years old, and we're listening to this amazing dance music, and he got down on that kid's level and he put the headphones on him. He says, like, showing him the music, and he's saying, this is the man that we're here to celebrate. This is his legacy. And yeah, you're too young to understand this now, but like this is an important moment for you, and like it gave me chills.
What do you think about the idea that, I mean, a lot of people can look at it their own way, but that people do die at very young ages, legends, die for a reason, to teach people. Do you think that there is any sort of possibility of that being, predestined or planned, or not necessarily predestined, but in some sort of way, if there was some sort of design in this world in order to teach people?
Absolutely.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that everyone's life is a part of a cohesive story. I think I choose to view the world in a way that things make sense. We're here for a reason.
Yeah.
People feel the way they feel for a reason, and life is a narrative. It's a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's logical. It makes sense. Sometimes it's unexpected. Most times it's unexpected. Most times it has a sense of humor.
Well, it wouldn't be life then if it was just
and that's
all
the beauty
fun,
of it. But I think what happens was always going to happen, and I think if our lives are in a it's like they talk about with quantum uncertainty. It's both a particle and a wave. I think that our lives are both predestined and eternally uncertain.
Like Serge said it last podcast, where he's like, I knew that me and my girl were destined to meet, but from here we take it to where we need to go. We don't rely on just sitting back and not creating our own destiny in itself like that. And I think that's something that people need to really understand, that even if you do believe in some sort of predestination, doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have free will. That is something that people need to understand. Predestination, the idea that something's predestined, doesn't mean that we still don't have free will. But, we shouldn't allow the idea that everything happens for a reason to prevent us from going out and fucking doing things that are great, or for allowing us to do bad things, or to just let ourselves fall into a fucking hole.
Yeah, I'd like to end with something that fucking really moved me through last year. Rest in peace, Pumpkin.
Yes.
I went to his memorial after he passed away. He was probably my biggest inspiration for the music that I write today.
Thank you for this.
And I was watching a video after he passed away, and it was him spinning at Birdie Man, and this camera walked up to him and like, Pumpkin, like, what's your lifelong dream? And he's like, to make these beautiful people smile. I'm like, well, how you gonna do that? And he's like, well, loud noises, the pretty shit. All right. I'm like, what do you aspire to do? What is your lifelong dream? He's like, my dreams are too big to even keep up with my life. Yeah, I think my dreams already came true because of you. And that's what it means for people to care about music and care about love and like spreading love through music. Yeah. And I respect the fuck out of that shit. Yeah. Rest in peace, my brother. In peace,
yeah, you said, yeah. I love that, man. Yeah, that Pumpkin, yeah.
Yeah, that was, a heartbreaking moment for a lot of the people in the fam when Pumpkin passed away. But, there was so much beauty that came from us all coming together afterward. And, everything that Appleby was talking about too. We do get kind of real on the show, and we talk about stuff too. It's not all just joking and talking about Bigfoot and all kinds of other stuff like that. We're kind of all across the board with different types of conversations. So we hope that you guys can get a little bit out of everything. And
we really try to encompass the entire human experience there.
Right.
And we enjoy having fun, we enjoy joking, but sometimes it does get real. So one more time, rest in peace, Pumpkin. He was an artist that meant a lot to all of us, a big part of the scene, and
most definitely.
And he will be missed. But now
we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit.
I think it's time for a palate cleanser.
We got some Hunter. This guy is one of my favorite people that I've met through the festival scenes. He is just, got stories for days because he's just an interesting fucking dude. And I think that you're going to kick out of this story just as much as we did. So
this is one that, I would also encourage you guys to go ahead and follow us on social media, follow us on Instagram, because the visuals, the act out of this story is also pretty fucking great. So we've read Hunter's adventures in Thailand and a certain, let's say, novel way to play ping pong.
Yeah, I would say so. Winona Ryder style.
Gotta check it out. All right, so ping pong show, right? So we're eating Mexican food, the worst Mexican food I've ever had in my life. And then I go outside.
I can't think of a better way to get ready for a ping pong show.
Yeah, exactly. So I go outside, I'm smoking a cigarette. And the two guys are inside. Next thing I know, I turn around and they're just following this Asian dude somewhere. I'm like, oh, better follow them. They're my new friends. Okay. And down this alley, up into this like stairwell, into this just dark room. We're sitting there, and he's like, ping pong show. I'm like, wow, we're doing this. This is happening because I've heard of ping pong shows. Thailand. I saw The Hangover too. It's a real thing. Kind of knew what I was getting into, but was like, all right, whatever. I'll try it. I'm here. Holy shit, man! The things these girls do. So there's about 10 different girls on stage. We walked into this room. There's, a good amount of people, maybe like 20, 30 people, different little groups. You could tell all young guys, girls. And where did they start, man? So this one girl is just, I think I walk in, right? And there's this girl, I couldn't even explain what she was doing. I would like to show you, but no camera,
You know what? It's not dark enough in here. We need to make it darker. No. And why is it always gonna be a dark room? Why can't they put fucking lights in there and shit? I feel like Japan would have a crazy ping pong show because there'd be robots and lights and shit going on. I feel like this is
maybe one of those times where it is appropriate to bring in Instagram at this point.
There we go.
God. So then I need a beer. Yeah, you go. You
give me a beer too. I'm gonna go ahead and film. And so if you're listening to this and you are not following us on Instagram, go ahead and do that now because you ready? You ready?
So this girl's got a Sharpie.
Okay, we got a minute. Let's go.
Shoved up, going like this, doing the motions.
With a Sharpie.
With a Sharpie in her vagina. Okay. And writes "Welcome to Bangkok" in perfect handwriting.
Wait. She writes "Welcome to Bangkok" with the fucking thing that.
I wish I could do it.
Impressive.
It really was.
That is impressive.
But that's just the beginning of it. So we walk in and that's what we see, right? The next thing we got going on is this girl.
If you could physically act these out,
that
would be appreciated.
So girl bends over, all right? Bends over, smokes an entire cigarette out of her vagina.
Wait, what?
Entire cigarette, just puff out, starts blowing rings, the whole shebang. It's crazier, okay?
I feel like that's actually easier.
It might be. I feel like but I'm not a girl, so I don't know. The next girl is laying down like this, right, and shooting darts out of the vagina up at balloons.
Whoa!
And I thought about this.
Is that even
Whoa.
physically possible?
I have no idea
Wow.
how she was doing it, but she was doing it.
Wow.
That.
So
Good
she's
times.
shooting vagina. Yeah. What else? We got the girl. This is the one that made me leave, right? So this one girl.
Oh, this is
That's where I drew the line. There was two. So you guys probably don't know this about me. The listeners probably don't know this about me, but I hate bananas.
Oh, wow.
All things in my entire life, like I've grown up with a hatred towards the yellow fruit.
Wow.
Loved lemons, hate bananas.
Why, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
couldn't tell you. Like I don't know
Just
what it
the
is.
texture or something?
It's all of it. It's the
All of it.
texture, the smell, the shape. It's just bananas drive me insane.
They drive you bananas.
They drive me bananas.
There you go.
Didn't-
Wow.
So this girl, right, comes up, has like a water bottle, like squeezes it into her vagina, so it's just like pulling up, and then sprays it over the entire crowd.
Whoa!
So one, I'm soaking wet. With, like, pussy juice.
Oh, you got in the fucking Gallagher splash.
Oh, I got
Gallagher
splash zone,
splash.
man.
Oh,
I was
no.
like,
They didn't get a little plastic covers.
they really should have given us some ponchos. Like it should have been like
Oh,
SeaWorld.
You're wearing like a striped shirt too with like the fucking beanie. I'm like totally getting a Gallagher image right now. Like, hey, get out! Oh man.
Oh, this sledge. Oh man. Okay.
So it starts
Go
with that,
on.
and I'm like, all right, I'm on my way out. And then they do the ping pong show. So we're like, oh, okay, we should actually stay for this part. They start handing out ping pong paddles. Girl starts shooting out the balls. I mean, it's a lot of balls going really quick. So she must have shoved like 15, 20 in there, and she's just rapid firing at us.
That's like a fucking a paintball gun. Man.
It reminds me of
paintball gun.
like a
Winona
hobbit.
Ryder in South Park. The
But with
episode.
like sticky, wet ping pong balls.
Oh.
Okay. And at this point, like, it's dark in there, and I'm having a hard time hitting these balls. So they're all just hitting me. Like, I'm getting them in the face.
Wait. You're supposed to be serving these balls again?
Right, they're shooting them, and I'm supposed to be serving them back.
Oh, I didn't know this
You
was
know?
like active audience participation.
Oh, yeah,
my
absolutely.
god. Okay.
And I'm not hitting a single one. So I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, just out cold.
So
okay?
it's not like Forrest Gump or anything.
It's
You
not
were
like
just,
I'm
yeah,
not
you're just
good at
getting
ping pong.
worked by these girls who aren't even using their hands. Wow.
Right, so she goes around the room, does the whole ping pong show with everyone, and then she brings out the bananas. So shoves.
You're setting this up. You're a great storyteller, but I'm already so uncomfortable with.
You should be, because
Oh,
I'm just
man.
like, pulling out of my skin right now.
no.
Like,
Continue.
So, I mean, I get it. Bananas, sexual, whatever, you know? She undoes it, deep throats it, puts it back out. I'm like, oh, okay, good, that's all she's doing.
Simple enough.
Shoves it in her vagina and just shoots it right at me. Hits me, like, square in the chest.
Oh no.
I'm done. I'm livid. I, like, get up. I don't even pay for
Shut
my
the
drinks.
door.
And I just, like, leave. And then next thing I know, I got, like, two, like, Asian bouncers, Thai bouncers, follow me down the street, like, oh, you need to pay. And I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry, I forgot to pay. Trying to charge me, like, 2,000 baht, which is, like, $60 for one drink. I'm like, no, I have like 300 baht on me because I'm poor.
They're trying to. Why were they trying to just like being dicks? Or?
Yeah, well, it's a whole scam thing. You know, they'll say, hey, you know, one drink, 100 baht, come in, watch the show.
So it's like Mexico,
It's a
but in
lot,
Asia.
yeah.
It's okay.
It's literally Mexico and Asia, you know? You
Wow.
got, like, all the shitty shops, and then they got the guys outside hustling, like, oh, ping pong show, come on.
Right.
Yeah, except with tuk-tuk drivers, too.
And this is in Bangkok.
This is in Bangkok, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, one night in Bangkok. Yeah, Bangkok makes the hard man humble, as they say.
It's true, man.
Wow.
After 10 hours in Bangkok, I was ready to leave.
Right.
Like, I didn't like Bangkok till the third time I went there. It was just a horrible place.
That's kind of how I felt, you know, and I need to go back, but like Amsterdam, you know,
I
has all
will
the
say
hype.
though that was a 2,000 baht story. Yeah, that was for sure
Definitely a 2,000 baht
Oh,
story.
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you got your money's worth.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
kind
what do they do when you don't have that? You didn't get shaken down. They didn't make you do like the late night show or anything.
I only paid them 300 baht. That's
Oh,
all I
okay.
had on me.
You just got away with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I pretty much just got away with it. They were pretty cool about it. And I mean, the reality is, they only told me I was only supposed to owe them 100 baht. But I was really nervous.
The thing is, though, that they didn't understand that you really just loathe fucking bananas,
Yeah,
and
I
that
was-
you had to get out of there.
Yeah.
They probably just thought you were just being a fucking punk ass kid that was trying to skip out on your thing. But you should have told them this whole story that you told us, and they're like, we don't care.
No, I never even thought of it like that. You're right. They probably just thought like I was just on my way out. Like I looked.
I mean,
sick,
because it's a unique situation. Like you really fucking hate bananas, you
Yeah,
know. And
I imagine it's gotta happen often. Like when she sprays the water on everyone. Like there's a lot of girls that go see those shows too, and like, not that I'm saying girls have a weaker stomach or guys have a, but It was gross.
Well, I think a lot of people don't want to like get fucking grossed out, or they want to be able to hang when it comes to like going there and doing that stuff.
Well, a lot of people just don't want like 50-year-old Bangkok stripper vagina juice sprayed all over them.
Dude, so that's
I think that's the
that's what
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
You know, you might get that sort of thing on your adventures, or you might actually go on a different adventure that, you know, kind of, you know, changes your life in a different way, or, you know, is inspirational in a whole different way. And we've had quite a few people on the podcast that
We're
have
fortunate
actually...
enough to know some amazing people. We really are.
Some very motivational stories. And the next person, who is such another fucking rad, awesome human being that just kicks ass and, you know, just inspired me with his story of his cross-country bike trip. Actually, I would say coastal coastal bike trip, which is, you know, regardless, it's an amazing accomplishment, as well as such an adventure story that, you know, certainly will inspire you. So
LA to Seattle with no fucking plan, no guides, no nothing. He just roughed it and he earned it. The whole episode is amazing because we spend our whole time on that.
Yeah.
But
and he was an amateur cyclist too. So
amateur cyclist.
Yeah, not, like just started. So
incredible dude, Mr. Storm Howe.
Yeah, you can do it.
So tell us where you did this biking trip. Tell us where you started and where you finished off.
All right, so I started in LA, and I technically finished off on the border of California and Oregon.
Okay.
But the original goal was California or LA to Seattle, and I did that. I went from LA to about the coast where Sacramento is, and I'd take a train up to Seattle, and then from Seattle back down.
Oh, okay.
So LA to Seattle was basically how I took the trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was there a is there a geographic limitation to going riding a bike in there?
I messed up. I went north. You're not supposed to go north on this trip. I was looking at everything I was looking up on how to do this bike trip on the coast was saying go from Canada to Mexico, go from Canada to Mexico, go from Canada to Mexico. And I was like, man, I don't have my passport. I'm not
just
I'm not gonna
reverse
have
the
time.
directions and you're fine.
Yeah, I'm like,
Right?
you know what? I'll just go from LA to Seattle instead. I'm like, I'm still inside America. I don't need to get my passport in time. And I want to start from my house. I want to go out my back door with all my stuff and start my trip. I don't want to get on a train or a plane or have to do any of that stuff and then do my trip.
That is fucking badass.
I just want to start.
You just I mean that simple idea is so much fuck whether it's smarter to go or easier to go the other way. You fucking did something you just that feeling. I can't even imagine. You just walked outside your fucking house and you never came back.
Woke up at 4 a.m. and I looked outside because I couldn't fucking sleep the night before. It was Christmas. I was like, oh, what presents am I going to get tomorrow morning? Instead I'm going to have to work my fucking ass off tomorrow morning for the rest of...
I like to usually blow some steam off when I can't sleep by going on a 670-mile bike ride too.
Exactly. Yeah. So wake up, open my door, smell the air, get on my bike and leave and know that I'm not going to be there.
And so how long...
Fucking run, man.
How long did it take you?
Yeah.
The whole trip ended up taking me about 6 weeks.
Okay.
A little over 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Damn.
And would you say that you were going at a crazy rate where you're just trying to get there,
So
or
I was aiming for about 70 miles per day. So on average, I was doing something about 10 miles per hour with a little bit of breaks on good days where I was traveling pretty well. Mm-hmm. So 70 miles per hour is my goal. There was a whole bunch of days in there though I was just struggling. I was either struggling with myself or the wind or the weather or my bike. My bike decided to blow up on me on day one. Within the first 40 miles, my crankshaft broke.
Oh man.
And that is the most crucial part of your bike and you can't replace it easily at all. So I'm out on the road and I only have limited amount of tools because I can't bring my whole tool set with me. Of course. So I'm trying to fix this stuff and I don't have the right one for that because I did not plan for that to break down on me.
Right.
But basically my trip was first good 2 weeks. I made it from LA to San Francisco. And I was killing it. I was just every day I was working.
That's crazy.
Super hard.
But what happened though with the crankshaft? How did you fix that?
Every day. It was just I was tightening it.
Just I
was road and broke it the whole time. I was doing stuff every 5 miles it would fall off, and I'd have to sit there, and I'd go on the side of the road, side of the freeway with the cars passing me right behind me, sitting there trying to put this in because I don't have the right tool by hand. So I'm just sitting here spinning this like nut into place, and it's not getting tight at all by hand. So like every time I pedal again, it would come off on me.
That's
And
funny.
you just fucking sucked it up and
I
dealt
just-
with
I
it, even though
sucked
you
it and went
were
with it.
like relatively like 40 miles away from home, like not
Yeah.
super far.
I
not
could have
like
turned around
bike
at any
shop.
minute. You're like,
I like that, but like at that point, you almost kind of could, but you fucking didn't.
yeah, I couldn't mentally.
like that.
I couldn't mentally at that
Mentally,
point.
you couldn't just like
I already
give
left.
up on this thing.
Yeah.
I can't go home.
Yeah,
and
man.
that I was about 40 miles when it started, so I could have easily gotten back within that day.
Yeah.
Because I was planning on doing 70 that day. But by the time I was already there, it was like, if I go home now, I'm not doing this trip again.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no opportunity. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have to replace all my shit. And a week from now, when I finally get back on the road, am I going to have enough time to do this? Is someone going to call me and, like, am I going to get work? Like, am I have to start school again or something stupid like that?
Yeah.
Right.
Damn, man. So the big question, why?
Yeah, so I just got this like random hair up my ass. I really liked riding my bike, and I really wanted to do something just kind of stupid. I got out of school, I had no responsibilities and a bunch of time, and I watched this video about this guy who went down from Canada to the bottom point, South America, and he did it in like a year and a half or something. Super spiritual journey for him. And I was like, that sounds sick. Like, I want to do something like that. And I was like, I want to
go
go
ahead
from my
now.
house and go up to Seattle. I'm like, I've never seen Oregon or Washington before. I heard they're really sick. I heard like that's probably where I'm gonna really like connect with myself there. So I just did it.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know what you should do as well? Try to stay informed as best you can, and try to just really look at all the sources and appreciate good news and journalism. And
I mean, it's no secret that we're in a very tumultuous,
Yes.
fucking crazy time. This is unprecedented. It's not like it's always there. This is some new shit, and
Yeah.
we are no strangers to it. Very,
Right.
very sad, very into it. This is a big passion of mine.
Yes.
Is politics and how crazy the discourse and everything is. Everything is fucking upside down. And so we had one of my dear friends, Alleyway Bordas, who's a very magnificent and accomplished journalist. We talked to her just before she went off to Columbia, which she has since graduated and gone on to do some really incredible work. So I cannot wait to have her back. But in this one, we talk about kind of the state of journalism as it was kind of mid 2017, and abysmal
post
to say the least.
Trump getting elected.
Oh, it was
fake news
real
and-
right
yeah.
into his term. As well, I mean, he's still doing it. That has
Yeah,
not
yeah.
changed between now and then.
Exactly. So it's still relevant.
But here is somebody's opinion who actually has the credentials to talk about it.
Right.
So,
Enjoy.
How do you feel about, the news in general? Just the term fake news, it makes
It's
my
painful.
blood boil,
It's so
and I just start
painful.
just swinging wildly
It's
into
so
the air because I'm so fucking mad, especially when I see, I'm friends with a handful of people from kind of crazier walks of life, and I
Yeah.
see them just unironically sharing, article
Oh
like
my God.
blog posts from, useaglefreedom.
No,
dot
no
net
U.S. Eagle. Freedom.
about why
U.S. Eagle
about
freedom.
how
Is that
killer,
a real? Is that a? That's not a real
It
thing.
probably is.
bet
Why
you it
not?
is.
I mean, I'm not. I
There's
wouldn't
gotta
be
be a blog
surprised.
or
Yeah,
something.
and then when you see it echoed on like Fox News, which has some credibility still, and Hannity's trying to say that Hillary
Does Fox
Clinton
News
killed
still
that
have
stuff.
credibility?
Oh God, that
They're-
whole story out
yeah.
of control.
Yeah.
The DNC thing. Oh
They're
my God.
propagating conspiracies at the behest of people who are
And Sean
grieving.
Hannity is not
And they're
backing down
ridiculous.
off of it.
Yeah, I know.
He's made it his crusade now
Yeah.
to figure out what happened. It's like, please stop.
Yeah, same. Like it's just to me, it's Pizzagate all over again. It's these fucking Sandy Hook
ridiculous.
deniers. It's like, why would you take a?
It's crazy.
So I mean that is frustrating. But how does that feel to you? Especially when it feels like your profession is being hijacked by these fucking morons who just are spin.
It's painful.
I'm sure.
It was interesting because in my program specifically, and being in New York is a giant bubble, right? And so there were so many people who were in tears and crumpled on the floor when Hillary Clinton won. Hillary Clinton wrong direction, when she lost. And we had 3 school-wide meetings about it where we brought in journalists about how to do your job in the era of Trump. And, you know, for me, I don't look at this entire new era as this shot to my heart. I can't be a journalist anymore because I'm not gonna be able to put my ideas on the back burner. I look at it as just like, this is a perfect time for us to start doing real journalism.
Absolutely.
You know, journalism's been so stale for so long. I'm so tired of CNN every 5 seconds. Breaking news alert.
Yeah.
I'm just like, good God, like you cannot put that on there for every little thing. And they just get so obsessed with one thing that they cannot turn their attention off of it. I mean, honestly, it's very frustrating for me, especially because I am tired of reading about the Trump stuff. You know, I think it's really important to be covered, but I can't read the New York Times anymore because of the fact that it has become such a sycophantic obsession that they don't cover anything else. And
That's a problem.
they're supposed to be the jewel of journalism, and I can't even subscribe to them because I'm just so frustrated. And I feel like a lot of outlets are trying to create this giant gap and divide. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, listen, like he was elected by the people that no outlet ever covered. You know, there was one reporter from the Washington Post that actually went to the middle states and actually talked to the people and saw how destitute they were in their communities from the past 8-10 years of presidencies. So for me, I get more disappointed by the fact that people aren't more curious about the entire middle America that changed the course of voting every 4 years and are just so concerned about sitting in their bubbles and crying like, why me, why me?
Right.
And you know, I find it to be really frustrating, and I think news outlets have lost their way.
And one of the silver linings that I've at least noticed in the last couple months, I think since this administration has been on such a tirade against the media, and everybody who doesn't agree with him is fake news. And
Yes.
I mean the guy in Ohio, was it, that just body slammed that
Oh my
reporter?
God, the Guardian.
Oh,
the guy. Okay, so
yeah.
the reporter from the Guardian that got slammed by the Montana.
Oh, Montana. That's
Yeah,
what
the
it
guy who
was.
just got elected last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, and then they elected him.
That was. I was
That's
furious.
fucking crazy.
Yeah,
He body slammed somebody?
and then punched him, and it's all on audio.
Yeah. But there
A
were
reporter.
witnesses.
This guy,
Yeah.
you could hear his voice. He literally had a breakdown. He was
was a
so
candidate.
angry. I think he was out for blood. This
Yeah.
candidate, and then he won. They voted for him, and he won.
Wow.
And I'll bet, I'll bet that helped his numbers too.
Oh, I know.
You know? But the silver lining though is I've learned a lot more about journalism just in these past few
Oh,
months
yeah.
than I've known before, and I've seen like this great hunger for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know John Oliver did a wonderful piece about print journalism and its
Mm-hmm.
importance, to subscribe to these things like the Washington Post, because they're the ones that are out there doing the work that needs to get done.
Yeah.
And even though the way that we usually see it is through blogs and on our Facebook feed and how it's being fed to us, but who's actually doing the work? They're sourcing these articles that the real papers are still doing. And he was talking about how important it is to to keep them up and do that.
Yeah.
And I've seen, at least I've read some anecdotes, and you probably know more about this than I do, but I've heard there's an uptick in subscriber base and people donating
Yes.
to real news organizations that are out there. And at least this is one of those things where, of course, I was devastated also by the way the last election went, but I was so heartened by, the massive backlash that has come from that as well. And seeing people who didn't have any kind of unifying purpose really forever. I've been trying to get people together, to get people to care about politics for 10
I know. I
years
remember.
now.
I remember just meeting you a year ago. You would have those conversations, and we talked about how frustrating it was to have.
To get anybody to care. And now, I mean, at least as far as that goes, this might have been the best thing that could have happened.
Oh yeah.
You get an absolute monster in here, and people go like, oh, fuck, we have to care now. We have to care about good journalism, and we have to be, we have to be more discerning when it comes to how we get our news and who we listen to and who we trust to get us the real stories out there.
Yeah, I definitely think it's resurged passion for sure for news and for solid journalism. I think it's given a lot of old school journalists that have been on the desk for 20, 30 years this new fervor to attack stories. And I think that that's great. I think that with that, though, comes the problem of like, where do you find the most accurate, solid voices in this new sea of uprising of so many voices? I find myself in the morning so overwhelmed because I don't know where to check the news because, I've subscribed to so many newsletters that my email inbox is 10 emails in the morning with different styles of writing covering the same story 50 different ways. Mm-hmm. So that to me, I think is where the frustration comes from. But I do agree on the other hand, it is given rise to a new support for the world and the role of journalism, which is incredible.
Well, speaking of accurate voices and news in 2017, we're talking about Charles Manson in this next segment here.
We unfortunately lost one of the great ones.
Yeah.
No, he was a giant piece of shit, who killed a lot of people. Anybody who does, like him or is some sort of edgelord who thinks it's funny to say they do, woe be unto them.
Well,
and so here we have another little clip, a little palate cleanser. We thought we'd introduce some
Jeff's
more
opinion
ridiculous on here. That's right. So we put Jeff's full opinion on here, absolutely not edited. There is no context to this clip beforehand. So please do not go back and verify it. Trust me. This is from just a few episodes ago, but this is some authentic stuff. And he's
wearing the shirt, so that's proof. He's wearing the shirt.
That is true.
So
you can go back to our
it.
Instagram and you can find it. So here is Jeff and my roommate, his brother, Aaron Please, a bunch of good episodes with him as well. But this was a particularly good one. If you are really tired of us being serious and having enlightening conversation, I do bring to you Jeff on Charles Manson.
Man, I wish there could have just been a couple more coherent years from Charles Manson, because that dude had a lot of stuff to say, and like I don't think one syllable of it should have been taken seriously by anyone. But fuck me, it was entertaining.
Right. That's the. I mean, if one thing can be said about it, it certainly was entertaining. It's like It's like James Brown, like just totally coming onto a fucking interview. Like,
when he went on Larry King, like just coked out of his goddamn gourd. Yeah. Or Crispin Glover doing that thing where he's wearing the sunglasses and the platform shoes and the
or like a Gary Busey, just fucking rambling on.
Yeah, I feel like Gary Busey like saw Charles Manson immediately after his motorcycle crash. He's just like, yeah, that's the way to go. I'll just be bug nutty for the rest of my life.
Right, basically. Fucking Gary Busey, what the hell's up? He's still alive.
He's more alive than he should be.
It's a lot of people these days.
I mean, well, that's callous, but no. Well, so you know what happened to Gary Busey, right?
No.
So Gary Busey, like after doing like the Buddy Holly movie and all that jazz, became this outspoken proponent of anti-motorcycle helmet laws, and then got. It's not a joke.
I know, but that's why it's so funny.
And then got into a cataclysmic motorcycle accident while not wearing a helmet.
It's like that lady a few years back that like left an NRA rally and then got shot by her daughter in the back seat who was accidentally playing with the gun. And she was just like, no, guns are the best. We need to have guns and no laws or restrictions. But then she got shot by her kid.
I mean, look, if there had been another kid in the car with a gun, they could have prevented that tragedy.
So where was Gary Busey's like road buddy to keep him from falling down?
At an NRA meeting, obviously.
So we go from talking about Charles Manson, who is no longer breathing, Gary Busey, who might be barely breathing at this moment, and we go to Matt Abrams, who teaches us the proper ways to breathe and all the ways that it can help us and benefit our health. And we thought that we knew how to breathe, but I guess we really didn't.
That really blew my mind, and that is no pun intended, but I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back for it anyway. But yeah, he offered some incredible advice that in 30 seconds, he really did, just by telling me something, changed the way that I breathe. Even now, like I've been feeling better. It's crazy after doing this. So Yeah, let's just jump into this.
Yeah, let's let him have at it.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind, I've had a couple CDs and things from Andrew Weil, and he's a doctor that really like connects Eastern and Western medicine and tries to find like common ground.
Right.
And one that really stuck with me, and that I teach a lot of my clients is how to breathe properly.
Yes.
It's like one of the most important things. I mean, breath is life. You know, if you're not breathing right, you're limiting. If you're not breathing at all, you're obviously not living.
Yeah.
So like, some of his points have been so influential and like changed how I breathe a little bit, and I actually feel a difference. And I see it a lot with clients and a lot of people. You know, the simplicity of not breathing correctly causes so many problems.
That's probably what it is for me too. Like I was telling you all that stuff, and I'll be the first to say that I don't know how to fucking breathe, man. I don't know what it is. Like I'm such a shallow breather, and I catch myself holding my breath all the time.
Yeah, and you know what that does to your whole mindset. Like if you sit in a room and like limit your breath to a room with hardly any oxygen, you're gonna start getting antsy. You're gonna start like, I need to find breath. And some people are constantly in that state because they're breathing at the top of their lungs. Like one of like the most simple concepts, but like the hardest one to do is breathing out more than you're breathing in. Like focusing more on your breath out.
Really?
We breathe so much at the top of our lungs, and we leave all this stale air at the bottom of our lungs, and because we're just like, and then then we're getting anxious because we have all the CO2. You're using up the oxygen. So like the simplest like exercise and simplest hint that I give to people based off like how to breathe better is breathing out more.
Oh shit! I would have thought it would have been not the opposite, but I thought that you still should always just like take in as much as you can. Okay.
You know what? Our breathing out muscles are so much stronger than our breathing in muscles. Like you can breathe out with so much more power. And like when you breathe in, it's more of like your lungs kind of opening up. You breathe out, you're like, and your lungs kind of naturally open up. Like even if you take a second to like take a breath, most of the time we're like, take a breath, breathe in, and breathe out. But if you think first of take a breath, breathe out first, breathe out.
Yeah.
And you're already at like the bottom of your lungs. You're like, oh wait, all this air down there. And if you like kind of, you're subconsciously breathing, but like if you put some focus into breathing out more and refilling your more oxygen, you'll be surprised on how much more like energy, how much better your body works.
I need to get on that.
I think I just breathed out my brain that you just blew.
Yeah.
Like
holy shit.
That
makes so much sense. I just did it right now. I went,
yeah.
What?
Wow, and
that's
you probably
so
even
easy.
feel it in your body. Like you're like, wow. You start to like feel more like this.
I feel like I just took the best breath I've taken in like a while just now.
Do you do
what?
That's what I was thinking about today. I was like, when I talk, I'm like, I gotta like at least talk for a little while about breath, because that's something that like I just want to like preach to everyone. I'm
something
like,
so simple.
We're not taught how to breathe.
No.
It's something we naturally do, and if we're not doing it properly, it's like no one's gonna like tell us we're gonna have all these health problems. Like even this doctor, like the Andrew Weil, he has books on books on books, and like so many people. He's like, if there's one thing that's like, connects it all, it's like breathing. It connects your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, which is like, you're being able to relax, and then there's the one where you're fight or flight, and they say like your breath is kind of your connection, because if you're in fight or flight, you're like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You're like ready to do it, and that kind of comes when you have like stale air sitting in your lungs. You're like, I need to get more air. But you don't think that I need more air. You just naturally, I don't know why I'm anxious. I'm just anxious. Like some people are just like naturally, oh my gosh, why? And they go and they, go get medical help, and they get pills and they get things like that. Just kind of cover the problem. And it's not hitting that source. And you just like keep going this rabbit hole without like thinking, wow,
you're treating
breath,
symptoms and not
like,
causes.
The simplest of things to live. Breath. It's like crazy.
And they teach you when you work out, you know, like that you're supposed to breathe, but they don't teach you how, like you're supposed to breathe. Like even, you know, I'm sure that the way that people have been doing it, like lifting weights and stuff back in the day, they've come a long way in learning like the proper ways to do it. But you know, there's so many things that like I grew up thinking in that realm. You know, working out and doing stuff that like have long since been outdated, even with like health and eating and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm coming back to like these sources, like these old, you know, I really appreciate that you said that you're trying to, you know, convert the Western and the Eastern medicine
Common
together.
ground.
Yeah, because
it's all the same.
Right. Kind of like you, like for me, and when it comes to philosophy, or just, you know, I like to go and try to bridge the gap between ancient and, you know, a conventional modern daytime wisdom, you know, and so like, but so my thing to you, that something that did help me and made me realize how fucking out of shape I was, Kundalini yoga. I tried it the other day, like burn the fire, and my stomach, because I was telling you down there, is fucked up. Yeah. And like that shit was hard to breathe out, like to do that. Like I couldn't do it for the length of time that like they said to do it, like, and it just felt like it was a rock in my stomach, and like, because they're like, you breathe from your stomach, you know, you gotta breathe it, like your stomach should be going in and out, not from your chest. I'm like, how, what? Like I was like, I can't even feel anything moving. I feel like I'm just like one brick right now. Like, and then I was like, out of breath, and then I started getting fucking like lightheaded and weird, and it's like, it was crazy. Do you do Kundalini?
I have done Kundalini. I've done a handful of different yogas that like incorporate a lot of breath work and like doing breath work and like breathing exercises.
Right.
I don't specifically like follow Kundalini. I know people that do, but like just breathing exercises in general. Like I used to teach a little bit of breathing exercise. I used to go into this rehab center for recovering addicts and teach them breathing exercises. Like once a week, do some basic stretches, and people that have panic attacks and things like that. And the success people had from just the simple like act of breathing better.
Yeah.
It caused so much like change in them. Like they were able to like sleep better, relax. You can put yourself to sleep if with certain breathing exercises and you do it properly, and you can retrain your body to sleep better. You can, you know, there's all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, definitely helped me out. Like I said, the breathing helps lead to, you know, a healthier body, and a healthy body is leading to a healthy mind. And
it's a point we've trod out well in this show.
Yeah, and you know, we've got the next guy that comes on, Maxwell, who's going to talk about the power of neurohacking and being able to control your mind and to be able to really just reprogram your brain to be more efficient. And it's some,
and not to mention he's a goddamn Jedi.
He is. That's a fucking Jedi. Cool. Yeah.
That doesn't show up in the clip, but he was just last week. So we do encourage you guys to go back and check out that one, because that was a good one.
Yeah, most definitely. So enjoy this little bit from Maxwell.
And may the force be with you.
What do you know, you're kind of trying to bridge the gap between the corporate and you know, what would you call it? I don't like the esoteric, you know, so
the ethereal, the ephemeral, like
what's a very like common thing that you experience with that? Like when people kind of say that to you, like you're walking that thin line, like.
Let me address this with something that one of my good friends from work actually shared with me. He has a master's degree in psychology, and he's currently going in for his doctorate. His name is Wes, and he and I were talking over lunch one day, and I mentioned this concept of bridging the gap between the corporate Maxwell and the hippie Maxwell, because he and I are Star Wars nerds. Like he and I, before the Last Jedi came out, he and I were theorizing. We're like, oh, like are they going to create the Gray Jedi? Like, are they going to do this, that, and the other? And we had lunch. We just talked about the philosophy of Star Wars and how good versus evil, and like you mentioned. But what he left me with at the end of the day was, he's a very deep voice, and he's from Texas, and he talks like this. Y'all gotta think like this. So here's what y'all gotta think about. You define yourself. You know, those words hippie, corporate, those don't define you. You define you, and those are part of how you define yourself. But I really locked into that because I was like, wow, like if I describe myself as corporate hippie, or I describe myself as the nickname the android, which I do. Like, I call myself both of those things.
I like it.
It's like, for me, I look at everything as a
better than
computer
an iPhone.
process.
Yeah.
Everything's a computer process, and like if I can run programs,
We were talking about that at Eclipse, yeah. And I agreed, yeah, I like that. You go ahead.
well, okay, so this comes back to the initial question that I was going to use kind of as my thesis for this podcast, which is the question, what is the mind? And when you think about the ethereal space between the ears, and you start telling yourself, okay, this body is governed by a mechanism. And that mechanism has laws and rules and programs just like a computer does. And if you can say, I choose to overwrite those programs by changing the language that I'm using, it's called neuro-linguistic programming. So if you use the word, oh, that's sick,
Also known as neurohacking.
also known as neurohacking or biohacking or whatever. And like there's so many different things you could call this, but really what I'm doing on a physical level and just on a real tangible level that most people can understand is all I'm doing is I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about. So it's like talking about language. Like for example, I was using the example, oh, that's sick. When I say, oh, that's so sick, you guys immediately are like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about the word sick, it implies illness and fatigue. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring back a resurgence of just words like cool, like, oh, that's cool. Because if you say it's sick, you're actually giving it a slightly negative connotation. So I have this phrase that I love using, which is words mean things. So I instead have decided to no longer use the word, oh, that's sick, which I love using, it's one of my favorite words, and changing it to, oh, that's woke. And to imply that when you use a word like sick, or you say something to yourself like, oh, I can't do that, whatever you manifest, that's what becomes reality. So if you choose, oh, I'm going to get hit in the face by something, or I'm going to get a car crash, that's going to happen because you're implying that in the universe. So by only having positive connotation and positive, reason for your language, that changes the way you entirely look at your thought process, and you can start thinking about thinking. Or you go into a meditative state and you stop thinking about thinking. And either one of those comes back to the question, which is, what is the mind? And that is to say that, is there one? It's certainly not in between my ears, because that doesn't make any sense. And with that, I'll kind of like...
Yeah, that's some deep stuff right there, and Maxwell's got certainly a lot of ways to help you, control your mind and to change things and to kind of, neurohack. And I think that this next bit of advice from Jeff is very beneficial to everybody who wants to really maximize all of their potential this year in 2018 with all of your New Year's resolutions. He's got some great tips on how to wake up early and, make the most out of your day.
I'll tell you exactly how you can get yourself to wake up at 7:30 every day.
Okay.
Okay, stop jerking off. Stop jerking off, because if you have an alarm set for 7:30, you for sure will wake up with like a California redwood. Okay?
That happens to me every morning though.
Okay, yeah, but this is going to be spectacular. Like you'll like drive a car through it. And wake up for that. And then tell yourself, all right, you're going to have to like do a little bit of like mental doublespeak. Tell yourself that you'll take care of the situation in the shower. All right, then get into the shower, give yourself like 5 minutes of like actual washing and scrubbing down, okay? Then start addressing the situation. Turn off all the heat on your shower.
What?
Yeah, turn off all the heat on your shower.
This is fucking torture. that
Yes,
you're doing to
and
yourself.
you're just like furious. your nuts will turn into this like angry fist and punch yourself up into your stomach, and then you will come barreling out of that shower like Jason Statham in a Crank movie.
Wait, so I'm a little bit confused because you just said you're gonna come barreling in the shower.
You'll come barreling out of the shower.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the instructions are clear.
Yeah, and you were going to start your day like a fucking like fighter jet.
Okay.
And you will do this every day. And at a certain point, you will train yourself that if you don't do that in the morning, you will feel like you have given up coffee. Like, deadass, I do this every morning. So by 8 o'clock every day, I am coming out of the shower like, Wah!
So
fucking brisk!
By like the second week.
Well, there you have it. Fucking brisk ass advice by Jeff to, just maximize your fullest potential.
And I think it was good that we bookended the show by 2 wonderful pieces of advice from Jeff, always prolific, and all of the people we had here. I think we got a pretty good sampling of what we do.
Yeah. So we really hope that you enjoyed a little bit of that. As always, go back, subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, we're so excited for 2018. We're happy for all the new listeners, and we hope if this is your first time listening to it, that you enjoyed it and that you do go back and check some stuff out from the past. And you guys check us out next week because we do post every Thursday. Yeah.
And thank you very, very much for all the support and love. As always, let it bleed.